Thank you, Brother Chairman. My colleague, Prime Minister, host Prime Minister of this important summit, Gaston Brown, the Premier of Anguilla, my brother Banks, and noted these ministers of government of the different islands of our region, and of course, the distinguished Secretary General of the CTU, my sister, Bernadette, and distinguished Director of the OECS, my brother Jules, who is here with us, all my sisters and brothers. First of all, let me thank my brother Gaston Brown for initiating and hosting this significant conference together with the CARICAD and CTU, because bringing us together today sends a significant message. I take this opportunity on behalf of the entire region to reiterate our support for brothers and sisters in Barbuda, Dominica, Anguilla, Turks and Caicos, the British Virgin Islands, all of the islands that have passed through the severity of the hurricanes in recent times in our region. Friends, before I begin, let me just tell you something that stuck with me a while ago. I became Minister of Communications, Works and Public Utilities, etc., etc. I remember attending the first CTU meeting. I think it was in Aruba. And having just returned from Washington, where I was at the academic level at the university in Washington, and noting some of the advances that was taking place, I noted how way behind that we were in the region. And I remember speaking at the first conference and talking about the necessity for moving on that platform of technology. And I remember telling the audience then about possibility that in the next 2 decades we will be hardly using paper. Unfortunately, while we understand that was necessary, in fact, I thought it was almost seemed then like I was a crazy man speaking. But the fact is, we have passed that, although we still want to behave as we still there before. I'll speak to that. And I remember attending the first CARICOM heads of government when I was elected Prime Minister in 1995. I came in 1996 in Jamaica. And I look back at all the heads of government meetings of the region and never saw an item on technology and science. Imagine the regional heads of government were meeting close to the 21st century, and we were not talking about science and technology. We were talking about all the problems that exist in the region and the simple tool that was necessary to help us to correct those fundamental problems. We were not even talking about it. Subsequently, the regional heads did ask that I take responsibility for after addressing that important issue. Still far away from where we should be, and I wish to talk to some extent about that and what we ought to do. Friends, As it is still early in the year, may I also take this opportunity to wish every single one of you the best in 2017, and to make sure that we commit ourselves to regional integration by fast-tracking the use of ICTs. Just about a year ago, in Guyana, the heads of government of the CARICOM community approved the vision and roadmap for the CARICOM single ICT space. The vision for that space is an ICT-enabled, borderless space that fosters economic, social, and cultural integration for the betterment of our Caribbean citizens. And I think it's important to state, for the betterment, to re-emphasize this, the betterment of our Caribbean brothers and sisters. This roadmap very clearly identifies the crucial role that regional governments must play in the implementation of the CARICOM single ICT space. In other words, without our leadership, we will set our people continued further backwards. Further, in July of last year, the heads of government in Grenada, the high-level work plan for the single ICT space was also approved at our heads of government meeting. It confirmed that the CARICOM single ICT space is indeed a complex undertaking, and making it a reality requires commitments, leadership, and resolve. It is our collective responsibility, friends, to ensure that a single ICT space becomes a reality for our region. We literally have, and I'll be happy. But everybody wants, the bigger you are, the higher the position, the bigger the office. And sometimes the bigger the office, is less being done there. Sisters and brothers, we have to tap into the power of data. As per the Economist magazine said, data is the new oil. That's a fact. If you have oil and gas, then you have money. Data is money, sisters and brothers. That's the new oil. Recently, as heads of government, we approved a regional statistical action plan. But that's important. These two must be linked with the work and involving to a 21st century government and the single ICT space. Statistics, it's about data. Data is about our present or future. In the past, we're making decisions at government. I've been there. Guesswork. In cricketing terms, we're whooping. And we just hope at the end that the thing turn out right. Well, if the data and the base for action is flawed, only miracle you're looking for, you know. And God will always give us miracles. Sisters and brothers, this too must be linked with the work on evolving the 21st century government. McKinsey and Company, in their research paper on digital transformation in the public sector, suggest that there are 5 core tasks that national governments should perform to facilitate the launch and uptake of digital public services. The 5 core tasks as follows. 1, set a clear digital strategy and targets. 2, provide common IT platforms, enable electronic identification, easy access to information, and seamless data exchange across public sector institutions. Define technical standards, facilitate change through legislation, incubate pilot projects, and build critical skills. But if you fear your power base would be eroded, you won't do those things, you know. You got to be able to only fear one thing, your own lack of effort and vision. we have to understand the more we open, the better for us. All of us, politicians. Not by coincidence, the vision, roadmap, and work plan for the CARICOM single ICT space, also identifies these 5 core tasks. As governments, our core responsibility is to serve the citizens well. I'm always clear about this. Whether it's in government or opposition, I've always been clear. As I said, I've been since 1984. I lost 2 elections. I shouldn't say lost. I got some sabbatical twice. So, I understand. I've been head of government for 18 years now and counting. So, I got to tell you, have a long way to go. My friends, so serving our citizens well, that's a responsibility, includes creating opportunities for our citizens to improve the quality of their lives and to ensure that our social and economic development is sustainable, and forces governments to be innovative and provide a leadership to keep pace with the rest of the world. Let us therefore commit to becoming the 21st century governments, all of us. Even as we commit, we must be practical and honest. 21st century governments cannot be built on 19th century or earlier processes, ideals, financing, and infrastructure, and behavior patterns. As heads of CARICOM states, we have to provide a leadership that will transform our region. That is our fundamental responsibility. We must lead while innovating. The complexities of the task or the resource requirements for accelerating our progress must not daunt us. Financing is always foremost on our minds, most times rightly so. But let us commit to explore the alternative financing vehicles collectively. We must ensure our current economic settings are improved to support the plans of the region. We must institute practices which help to stem wastage and leakages in our government spending and practices. I am telling you as the head of government, I would say 40% of the country's resources are wasted by corrupt practices, not always among politicians, but a lot inside the public service that we serve. But the politicians are the only ones that get licks. And we have a right to get licks for corrupt practices, but they are much more occurring. The ICT space, the security of the system that we have will in fact protect us, the politicians, and the people, and the resources of the people. My friends, fixing this, which only governments can do, would direct far, far more money and resources into development of ICT programs. So don't tell us, as heads, we cannot tell ourselves that we don't have the money. The money is there. We make commitment and waste money and all sorts of stupidness that has no place in the 21st century because maybe it fits our little ego. Fits our ego to have the grandeur plans and the grand big buildings and so on. Makes us look good. But what really makes our success? We're talking about not having the money for this ICT. One example we will hear about in the coming days will be the CTU's modified SUSU mechanism. I like SUSU because I used to be in that. The only problem is you pay your SUSU and the other fella get he pick first and he don't come up with his. So usually the fight starts. But I hope we won't have to do that within the CARICOM family. Let's get into the SUSU business, invest serious monies into ICT plan. I believe the region would be well served if, at the very least, we all can commit and do everything possible to provide a single entry portal on public information and online services in all our countries by the end of 2018. I think we can do it. This will result immediately in more efficient use of our scarce resources, both financial and human, in our pursuit of the 21st century e-government services. Colleagues, let us move with resolve to embark on this journey towards the 21st century government. I have no doubt that the revolution we are privileged to be part of, if we wish to be, will benefit humanity and help the planet which sustains us all. This revolution could mean more income and more wealth as a myriad of new or enhanced services and products enabled by the new technologies in all aspects of our lives that will transform our economy if we plan well and act accordingly. Progress, sisters and brothers, improves lives. And we could not hold back these life-changing new technologies, even if we wanted to. Our citizens would be happy and proud if we as leaders understand this important initiative. I conclude by imploring all of us here and those online to channel your passion, your vision, and hard work into making the CARICOM ICT space, single ICT space, a reality. Sisters and brothers, I would have loved to be here with you for the entire session today. Nothing would please me more. In fact, just being here takes me from an important exercise. This is the hunting season for politicians of my level. In fact, on the 28th of this month, I make the call for the new general elections in our country. As I told them, I go right back into my own constituency to make that call. So to be here was a virtually important sacrifice. But I could not miss this call from my brother and from the rest of the region. Bernadette and others who are working so hard, sometimes were not enough gratitude, not enough understanding of that sacrifice that you're making and others like you. I hope and pray that we all, as leaders, could come to terms with this and to give you all the support that you need, not for ourselves, not for you, but for our children and our grandchildren's future. I wish everyone a productive and transformative conference, as I also take the opportunity to welcome my brother from St. Kitts, because when I came here, I didn't see you. I got very worried I was going to take a flight and come down and pick you up. It's good to have him here. Sisters and brothers, make this a special conference. Thank you all, and we wish you the best.